Hello everyone, Prime here, and do any of you remember the likes of Bomber's Mask, Aegis Pendant, or Midas Boots? No? Well, today we're going to be covering the lore behind these lost items, and we're going to start off with Bomber's Mask. Darkness was all there was in the beginning. From it came Bomber, a giant with white skin. He was gravely unwell, and had been for many years. The sickness of loneliness it was. Finally, it reached a peak, and he vomited the sun and the moon, light bursting into being, stars illuminating the sky, and with a struggle brought forth the earth as well. Next up, he brought up 9 animals, humans, and taste carrots, because why not? These creations evolved, and soon enough became every living thing that inhabits the earth today. With the quest complete, Bomber's lonely days was behind him, and he left his sons to finish off the earth and descended to the heavens. But he might have also given a speech to humans. Next up, we have the many different girdles that were removed. During the 12 trials of Hercules, the hero was tasked with bringing King Eurystheus the belt of Hippolyte, the queen of the Amazons. Hippolyte's girdle was a gift from Ares, god of war, as she was the best warrior among the Amazons. It carried her spear and sword. Eurystheus wanted it for his daughter. Hercules ventured off to the island with some allies that didn't believe the hero could take on the entire Amazon army alone if it came to a fight. When the men arrived, they were greeted by the queen herself, and everything seemed to be going swimmingly, until Hera assumed that Hercules' presence on the island would bring nothing good to the Amazons, and disguised as a warrior, convinced the ladies of the island that Hercules was there to steal their queen or cause some sort of problem. The army charged off, ready for battle, and knowing that this whole thing would end in blood, Hercules put a blade through Hippolyte, took her girdle, fought off the Amazons, and left. There are variations, and I've told you one of these differences on the channel before, but the start and the end of the story is always the same. Hercules always gets tasked with going to this island of the Amazons, and whilst Hippolyte's death might be different, she usually ends up dead by the end of it, and he usually returns to the king with her girdle, or belt if you prefer. Aegis Pendant. Whilst Aegis is still in the game in some form, a similarly named Aegis Pendant did exist. It was an amulet showing off a Gorgon's head and worn by both Zeus and Athena at times to protect them both. The Aegis is typically known as a shield, but like the pendant, there are different items with the Gorgon's head fashioned on it, believed to bestow some sort of protective power, and could also be worn by people with high status, like kings or rulers, for instance. Speaking of kings, we have Midas Boots. King Midas was a king with everything: a large plot of land under his control, a brilliant castle for bragging rights, a radiant daughter. But his true obsession was money, and being a king, he was in no short supply of it, yet still sought after more. And after helping Silenus, a satyr and follower of the god Dionysus, the god granted Midas one wish of his choosing. From that day onward, anything the king touched became gold. A throne, a table. This was the best gift imaginable, until he could no longer pluck a fragrant rose from his garden, enjoy its aroma, or feed himself with anything without it turning to gold. But the greatest dread would come when his daughter embraced him. In horror, his child became gold. He pled with Dionysus to revert the gift, and after washing his hands in the river Pactolus, his wish was granted, and everything transformed to gold, became whatever it was before the transformation. By the way, Dionysus is Bacchus, for those of you that didn't get that. Maat's tome. Maat was the Egyptian goddess of truth and order, thought to be the literal personification of truth itself. The ostrich feather was associated with her, and she'll almost always wear one in her hair in her depictions. When a person died and was being judged, their heart would be weighed against a feather of Maat. If their heart was deemed to weigh just as much as the feather, or around the same weight, they were considered to be free of evil and sin, being able to enter an eternity in the duat. If not, though, their heart would be consumed by Aminet, a goddess with the head of a crocodile, body of a lion or big cat, and legs of a hippopotamus. Suffice it to say, you never want to be on Maat's bad side. Mannequin scepter. These Mayan objects would define rulers and detail their authority to anyone in the society who saw them. They were usually made of clay or stone and may feature the carving of a god, most commonly God K, Lightning, serpents, and fertility are all the things that they resided over. Ragdar's mask. The Lady of the Night comes with tusks, prominent teeth, conjures fire from her tongue, and has long claws. But despite all of that, she's a goddess of fertility and power and death. She also loves a bit of mischief, like causing menopausal women to become pregnant or convincing people that it would be a good idea if they pierced someone else with a knife during a very specific dance. That was because after she was slain, she forms an army of spirits against her son, which causes his soldiers to murder one another. It's a very, very long story, but the point is, she does love her mischief. From Hindu mythology as well. That was the video though, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, and of course subscribe for more content just like this. I'll leave a link in a card to a very similar video that you should watch next if you want to see more content just like this. And till the next video, have a very good day. I have been Prime, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.